Welcome to today's AMA with Blofin. Today we're joined by Bonk, aka Harry. You may remember him from Mexi, but now he's working with Blofin. And why, might you ask? Well, he knew ahead of time that Mexi was probably going to be moving towards a KYC model, and he is a non-KYC or decentralization maxi. So he has been working with Blofin, who is still dedicated and committed to giving users a really smooth and nice non-KYC centralized exchange experience. Now, I have a lot of questions on how they're able to make that happen and why that's their vision. So we're going to look at Blofin today. We're going to talk about how to use this exchange and why it's non-KYC and why non-KYC might be important for decentralized users, especially those who are all over the world. So without further ado, thank you, Bonk, aka Harry, or the way around, for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with this transition from Mexi to Blofin?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure everyone's had, unfortunately, rather bad rumors about Mexi, and I just at some point I was just getting annoyed because the management style was a bit not to my liking. So like when we turned the fees down, I learned about it as soon as you did. Any time, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of a mess. The building that place and doing so much work for them for like 2 years and having just not being looked out for in that sense was just very frustrating. So I I definitely quit a better paying role for a bit to come to Blofin. So I was like the first BD they hired about 6 months ago. Now the team's up to like 15, um, and it's good. We started with no spot and about 200 per pair 6 months ago. I think today we're up to about 70 spot and about 330 per pairs. So there's only like 6 less than Bybit, and I think Mexi only probably has like 20 more per pairs than us at this point in time.
That is an insane arbitrage between Mexi funding rates and Blofin funding rates for Brett. And the only reason I know about Brett is because like there's this meme coin trader that I follow, even though his personality is like absolutely aggressively offensive. He's typically pretty good at meme coin trading, and like he is the number one shill of Brett. So anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I think our margin maintenance ratios too is a little lower than everyone else's still right now.
Can you explain what margin maintenance ratio is and how it affects futures trading?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think OKX and Bybit has like a higher one. So that's just how much your funding fee eventually costs, right? So like to maintain margin, you have to pay the funding fee. So I think ours is actually a little bit underpriced right now. I don't know if they're gonna change it, but yeah, I'm just being honest. Yeah, secondly, so about Blofin. So Blofin was made by the founders of a Token Insight. So Token Insight's probably like the third or fourth biggest blockchain analytics platform. And in 2021, they were running a fund of funds in the Cayman Islands. That's why we use Fireblocks. So like all our customer funds were with Fireblocks because my bosses just were using it anyways because they had to. You can't run a mutual fund even in the Cayman Islands without having a third-party custodian. So we're still using Fireblocks. In doing so, like I think we have like a bit of a safer product. It helps that we were basically like funded. We raised 50 million in 2023 before the exchange really opened to build the exchange. So our backers are KuCoin Ventures, SIG, SIG, which is like one of the biggest quantitative buy-side firms in the world, Matrix Partners, and Finbushi. So I think as a new exchange, the reason why I left is because I saw it as the only new non-KYC exchange that had like the backing to really be able to do this. And I think Steven can see that like we do have the backing to totally improve in like 6 months time to like another level. So, I hope this exchange can keep growing. Obviously, like we can't be no KYC forever, but we're going to do it as long as possible. But I think by like, mid 2025, the whole landscape will change for everyone no matter what. That's just me being honest. Like thirdly, definitely there's some states that we IP ban just for the safety and longevity of the no KYC. So if you guys are in like Texas, Washington, New York, Chicago, you probably will have to use a VPN. But in doing so, like those are the most like high risk regions for us, right? So it's just to protect the rest of the users. Yeah, we're gonna beef up the activity.
Hey, look at that. This is us. Oh, no, it expired.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We'll get another one going.
Okay.
Let me just do it. I can just message them.
Awesome. So can you tell us sort of, I understand, like all exchanges seem to be moving towards like a KYC model, and regulatory constraints are getting a little more tough. On the bright side, DEXs, or decentralized perp exchanges, have also become really robust. So from my opinion, the most useful case for a centralized exchange and centralized perp exchange is sometimes they have really good funding rates. That's one reason why I like them. And the other reason is they're way better for bridging than most bridges in DeFi currently. I've been trying to bridge Arbitrum to Ethereum a lot recently, and vice versa. And it's like hundreds of dollars of loss for, 5 to 6 figure movement. So like being able to send to a centralized exchange into spot, and then if I want to like do some funding rate arbitrage or shorting or hedging, has really been a nice additional tool, like in my strategy toolbox. We'll see like how long this trend continues, but it's unfortunate that probably by 2020, like as you said, mid 2025, we might all be a little bit nerfed, but we'll see what happens.
I think I'll make a deck. We'll make a deck eventually. Yeah. Yeah, it's in the pipeline. Don't worry.
Oh wait, you're gonna go decentralized? Are you gonna have like a decentralized partner exchange?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you that. Tell you guys that. Yeah, we'll do that eventually for sure. It'll be like on-chain deposit, on-chain settlement, but like using our perps off-chain.
Oh, we've seen. I think a few other protocols have done this with pretty decent success. It would be cool to see you guys also incorporate that. I think Apollo Apollo technically started as a centralized exchange, and now has had a lot of experience. Well, I won't say they've had a lot of success, but they've had some success with their decentralized exchange.
Yeah, for me, I just like I got my CTO thinking about it because, to be honest, I see how rushed it looked. Rushed, like Apex and Apollo X look rushed to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. A little bit rough around the edges.
Like, yeah, it's not. I think there's room there for a new product.
I don't understand why there hasn't been a DEX that just copies the user experience of a SEX. Like the user experience on most central exchanges is really intuitive for most people. You go to assets, you deposit, super easy. Then you'll have your assets there.
I think Avo is pretty good. Avo's okay, but at the end of the day, right? Like it ends up costing more usually, right? But the DEX perps, funding rates are higher. And like there's more slippage, and it's like harder for the market makers to market make on chain efficiently because of all the opportunities for them to get arbitrage or like kind of like MEVs or whatever. It's harder. Like we've seen with like Hyperliquid, that crazy wick, like stuff like that. It's just way harder to happen on a centralized exchange. It won't, if that makes sense.
If you guys did, absolutely. If you guys did move into the DEX space, it would be cool if you also did some of the pre-market trading stuff, the pre-token trading, because it's been fun to use like Avo and Hyperliquid, and like right now there's an interesting like 10% arbitrage between how they're pricing Eigen token. So seeing other competitors enter that space could be fun.
Yeah, I just think, to be honest, I want my no KYC as long as possible. I think it's it gets to like a bit too speculative, right? If something goes wrong and go really wrong there, so I'd rather like protect the users until like it's perfected. I think it's still a pretty new product.
How dare you put security over speculation? Hey, there we go. Keep going. Keep going, little green candle. It'd be nice if we hit 60K again today. I'd be pretty excited. I mean, pretty rough past few days. Well, don't jinx it, man. Actually, in Canadian dollars, we're probably we're way high.
Yeah, it's almost. I want to see it over 100K Canuck bucks.
I should do ETH. Can I do ETH CAD? Okay, we should really get. Okay, let's go back to See, it's not that bad. Look at that. We're over 4,000 guys. This isn't bad at all. We're nearly at all-time highs for ETH
Yeah, Canadian dollars for
in
sure.
Canadian dollars. Okay, let's go back to what is like Blofin's doing a thing for us, right? Blofin's going to do this onboarding program, allowing people to sort of test it out, try it, and then be rewarded for it or like have this good experience. Can you tell me what this new event's all about and how it's going to work for the DeFi Dojo?
Okay, this event's pretty simple. It's honestly just based around taker volume. I think. Let me pull it up on my side. Wait there. Okay, so firstly, there's a 10% cashback. So when you guys deposit, up to 75K, if you want to deposit 75K, if you want to deposit 5K, same thing. When you move it to the futures account, we'll give you a 10% trial fund for it. Next, if you do like 1,000 in trading volume and taker fee, you'll get a $20 futures bonus. If you do 1 million in trading volume, you guys will get like the USDT equivalent of AirPods, 5 million USDT equivalent of Switch, 20 million USDT equivalent of a iPhone 15, and 30 million is the USDT equivalent of a MacBook Pro M3. And then if you guys go crazy, like do 50 million taker volume, and would get you a Apple Vision Pro in USDT, and then 100 million taker volume would get you a Rolex in USDT. So it's not like a chance to win. It's honestly just based around how much volume you do. So, you know, if you want to go crazy, there's definitely like a cash reward for you. And if you don't, you want to just like go casually, there's still going to be like trial funds for you to come and use the exchange for the first time.
Can you send me any of the? Can you send me a roll? I will never get up to 300 million. I want the Rolex though. Actually, we need to go through those numbers again because I've forgotten them. $100, so 10% cashback up to 75K.
Let me send you the picture so you can screen share it.
All right, love it.
I think I got lost in our back and forth. Here you go. This is the standard one.
Okay. Open image, open link. There we go. All right. Can you guys see it now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So greater than $1,000, you get $20 future bonus. Okay. $20 future bonus. Future. I'm typing these out just so we can have them. Oh, actually, I can just copy and paste this. What am I thinking?
Yeah, copy and paste it, and then it's also like the first deposit, even before you do trading volume. If you move it to the futures account, we'll give you a 10% cashback in trial funds.
So can you explain the trial? So like if I deposited $50,000 into futures right now, you would give me $5,000 of trial funds. And what do trial funds do? Do I get to keep how does that work?
Yeah, you get to keep all the profits. Don't withdraw it. Just trade it until it's dead, to be honest. Because I mean, maybe I can whitelist it for everyone. I gotta figure that out actually. I can probably whitelist it for you guys. I have to ask quickly.
Okay,
or
but you
basically have to tell them.
I know like typically the way trial funds work on other exchanges is that you can trade the trial funds and keep all the profit, and we can withdraw the profit, but you can't withdraw the trial. Like you can't ever withdraw the trial funds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if
just a way to reward people that like deposit, and secondly, like take some risk off the people that do bigger deposits for sure to come try us out.
That seems pretty nuts though, because like if I put in $75,000, it's per account though, I imagine. So like I couldn't put $75,000 in, get $7,500 in trial funds, 50x leverage that just for fun, and like maybe make huge gains, and then withdraw and then do it again. Like it's up to 75,000 per account, right?
Yeah.
So could I mean, I don't want to like tell people how to game this, but that's just the way that the dojo thinks. Could you put in like $10,000? Get $1,000, withdraw that $10,000 and put it back in, or is there some sort of esoteric math that would prevent you from doing that?
Yeah. Let me see. It should be in the fine print. These buggers work. You could probably game it, but I'm not going to be thrilled. But come bring me the deposits and the volume. I don't care.
Because I mean that's pretty insane, from my opinion. Just to get like, I don't want to say free money, but like free trial money.
Look,
Yeah, exactly.
the market's super aggressive right now. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of other new exchanges, so we've been doing pretty well. And like, we make these things, and people copy us, and like, I have to go think up something new, and then they copy us again, and it's a back and forth. So obviously, like as I said before, I think we're pretty well funded versus a lot of other new exchanges. So like, we're investing a lot in growing our user base this year. That's definitely the priority. So that's why the promotions are so good. Moreover, like Mexi, right? They always had like less emphasis on doing this. And at some point they didn't have to, because they just have the market share of every single shitcoin on earth. And that in itself is a whole other game. So their focus was always on having the most coins. And I think because we're new and we're smaller, our focus has been like having the most rewards for people that come and try out a new exchange.
You should definitely get on a call with maybe me and the Define Logic Labs team about how we could get these up, because there are some really decent fixed rate APRs that are better than this that people could subscribe to that might make this a much more enticing product. I've seen other earn products. None of them are super exciting. Go ahead.
I think it's because it's just like, at the end of the day, if in like freaking honestly in like 2025 Q1, I think I'll go crazy on earn. But right now, like, people
Oh,
want
sure.
trade.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think the market is more about more perps, more spot than it is about, hey, like, let me get my like 7% yield. I think people are more aping.
Yeah, definitely true. Hey guys, I want to ask you guys who are listening what you think about the UX. So I have an opinion, but clearly I'm biased because we have an affiliation with Blofin. I'm not trying to sell you guys on it. I would rather have your actual genuine opinion than me give you mine, because I'm a biased party. So like, as you're looking at this, I have played with a lot of these smaller sexes before, and there are sort of like reasons why we choose two to work with. So what do you guys think about this interface? By the way, I'm looking at copy trading. Huge caveat. Copy trading always looks great, but please don't do leverage, because I have blown up a lot of very small accounts thinking, hey, this guy's probably really good because in the past 90 days they've done so well. Don't be like me. Don't just copy trade really high ROIs. If you want to like diversify between a bunch of copy traders with like $10, maybe that'll be fun for you. It's something like, I like having investments to look at, but don't ape into like the highest number. It's a good way to lose your money really fast.
Yeah.
But it is cool that you have copy trading. Also, I saw that you had trading bots here, which looks like you can build your own based off of signals.
Yeah, soon. I think it's becoming more and more in depth. So these are for trading view webhooks. So you can basically set your trading view indicator to trigger Blofin positions.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So
I think it's a feature that people don't use enough. I think it's actually a really good feature, because basically, to be honest, right, TradingView has the broker program, and they're not adding any new brokers. So that was the best we could do, is get the webhook integration.
I have Lux Algo, which I paid a bunch of money for like last bull market, thinking like I'm going to become a trader, and then quickly realized I just don't have the I don't even know like what the right word for it is. I'm not cut out for trading, I think is the way to put it. But I like have this really nice indicator, and people tell me it's good. I don't even know which one is a good one. Ooh, I'm just gonna throw those on there. Can I see it? I don't know what these do, but like I imagine I could set this up and like have the people who have created these really fancy things. Look at these. That looks like someone won there. It looks like these are good trades. I don't know. And like I could throw those into like, I'm just saying theoretically, there's probably a way that a technically savvy person could connect this to Blofin and just have it do it for me.
Yeah.
But this is only for spot though, right? Currently?
No. I think it's only for futures currently.
Only for futures. Oh wow, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. The exchange itself, like honestly, I'll be totally honest. I think my founders have a lot of experience in the perpetual business, So it's like we've refined perps more than spot. So my job these days has been adding a lot of spot and figuring out spot, blah blah.
So yeah, I know. I kind of was begging you for this because again, one of the main uses I have for Essential Exchange is for bridging. Yes, I like to hedge, but like at the end of the day, the most interactions I have with a sex is probably me just like sending funds from one chain and then sending it to another chain and avoiding like a multi-$100 smack in the face by a bridge. And you
Yeah,
guys are actually expanding the amount of chains that you guys interact with too, right?
yeah, we should have like 27 soon. By end of month, we'll have most of the chains.
Oh, cool. You also have
Yeah,
API.
yeah, we have open API. I think it's you can read the API docs; they're out there. It's a lot more than most of these new exchanges can say, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't want
Mexi
to
never had API. I mean,
No,
again,
they did at one point.
oh, they did?
I think
Okay.
it's spot API. They have to have spot API because like at the end of the day, like they don't market make their spot coins for sure. They always have someone else doing it, and the
Oh,
market
okay.
makers need a spot API to get in there.
Is
But
there,
the
so,
futures
good.
API,
I was going to say,
futures
there's
API.
yeah. I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. Tell me all about Futures API.
No, I'm saying for us, like ours is only like we acknowledge it in the API white paper or docs, but like most of it's built off of OKX because like OKX was pretty clean. So ours is like 15% different. Obviously, it's done differently, but it's pretty easy for people to integrate if they've had experience with other major exchanges APIs.
Okay. Cool. Let me. How do I say this with like while being positive about everyone else? There has been a lot of FUD to your competitors, and one of my concerns is that like Blofin will one day be caught up in similar FUD campaigns. I don't know if FUD campaigns is the right word. Maybe there's like legitimacy to the FUD. You probably know some of the competitors that I'm talking about. Is Blofin doing anything different or run by anyone different or like unique in any way that may that may
It's the worst thing I'll ever say here in the chat. It's like honestly, so like I report to the CEO and the CO every day, and like I think me and my number two are the only two white guys like basically running the exchange side, like the business side. And so like I think a lot of the other exchanges are like super Eastern, and sometimes they don't know how to communicate properly, and their priorities like get quickly off. Yeah, like our priority at Blofin is fees always. It's not anything else. Like we make money off fees, and that's why our fees aren't cheap because like we want to have a good product. So in order to have a good product, like you need to charge for it because we're paying like external market makers to do the market making for you know pairs, and it's like we're not doing any of it. So if you start charging less, right, you can make more, but you're not making more through fees. So like it's kind of like my position here since what happened to me at Mexi. Like I'm trying to keep it high because like I want to keep paying my external market makers and never get into that bullshit. B because like I'm trying to build a great product and like you can't you want to go buy a fucking cheap Ferrari, it doesn't exist. Can't buy a cheap Ferrari. So like yeah, there's no really good way to cut corners in this industry. You have to basically create like a healthy ecosystem. And to create a healthy ecosystem, like everyone's got to eat, you got to pay, and you got to bring more volume in to make sure you're paying less. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So effectively, I guess what I took away from that is that Blofin is maybe somewhat uniquely focused on fee revenue to ensure they can pay market makers at a sufficiently high rate to avoid maybe some of the market making concerns that people had with other exchanges.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also like when we raised our money, right, it was post FTX. So I think that's it's a bit of a disadvantage to start, but afterwards, right, we're using like Fireblocks as third party custodian. We don't have an internal market maker. And like I think it's because like obviously like even our investors like they don't want that repeat, right? It's no one wants FTX. right? It's just like FTX had a good business and they ruined it by taking shortcuts. And I think other exchanges do the same thing because, at the end of the day, people look at daily profit and they forget about time as the, most pure denominator of a business. So if you maximize your daily profit at the expense of your users or your ecosystem, like you're gonna have less long business in the long run. So yeah, I think my founder and I agree on that. It's like our priority is never to be evil, A, and B, like have a good product that makes people want to come trade here, and have the fees like be worth it because you're trading at a new exchange that's like safe and like has actual funding, and you can like look up the companies that fund us versus a lot of our competitors that kind of pop out of nowhere.
I like that. I like that. I mean, we need to have like confidence boosting consistent news rather than confidence diminishing consistent news. And one of the things that I think many people in this dojo can say is like, even though some of our like I'll just say it because it's no reason beating around the bush. One of the reasons why we decided to go with Blofin is because MEXC started to get so much FUD and MEXC was introducing KYC. No shade to MEXC, but they also just like consistently were in the fire of bad news and people saying they're going to explode. I mean, KuCoin too. KuCoin has also been like in the whatever the opposite of limelight is, like the bitter tomato light, or like the bad spot. Notorious for this or that. And I think it's like we just need an exchange that either flies under the radar or like gets nice, decent news, does not consistently get FUD, does not have like everyone saying, "Oh, you guys are doing shady practices." And so if we can get that from Blofin or whomever, I would be very happy to sort of like have that be the vibe of the exchange rather than like constantly fighting bad news. However, I will say, knock on wood, thank God, centralized exchange FUD has been like at an all-time low despite crazy market conditions. So if we could just keep up that particular vibe, I'd be very happy. I don't want the season of exchange blow up again.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't trust my old boss a little bit. I don't trust that guy fully. I mean, look, I think I think MEXC definitely will KYC in end of June.
Well, they already did it. They already introduced it.
Yeah, but like they haven't. They're gonna go full force.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're saying they haven't like throttled people. I haven't done any perp trading since I said I couldn't because I don't want to get my account locked. Maybe I can still do it. Maybe I can't. I've just tried not to do anything.
I think you still can. Until June.
Okay, so if you want to do that funding rate, what was it that I was looking at? There was one that had like crazy.
Brett.
Was it Brett? That had like dramatically. I mean, these are probably very illiquid markets, but yeah, like that particular. So like if you wanted to short, on MEXC, where is it at? Sure, no, that would be shorting. Short, no, long, yeah, long MEXC, short Blofin. I would never do 2x leverage on such a ridiculous coin. But that's a pretty good arbitrage APR, in my opinion. Now, funding rates are going to be crazy, but like if you're getting the free money from, or I say free money, but if you're getting like that trial money, maybe it's a decent, fun thing to do. I'm not telling you to go and like throw 5% of your portfolio in this. But one of the things I was considering, and like someone in the chat helped me out with the math here, the psychological math, is if I wanted to hedge using the trial funds, like let's say I open up an ETH position or something like that, and I want to hedge it effectively, not for free, right? I'm thinking that if I had like if I put in $75,000 and I get $7,500 to hedge with, and I do a 2x leverage, I can hedge $15,000 of ETH exposure. And I think it works because if ETH goes up and my short like goes down, it doesn't matter. It's free money. Like I don't care about the principal. But if ETH goes down and my profit goes up, I get to actually keep the profit. So I actually am effectively hedged for free. Does my math check out? Am I missing something crucial here, guys? And please, anyone in the chat, feel free to tell me that I'm being stupid and I'm missing something like essential here. I'm just excited about like the possibility of like maybe getting some risk offness for free on this current market. And you could do more leverage, but I get scared of leverage.
Yeah, it's fair. Leverage at your own risk.
Yeah. I mean, with ETH, 3x has been like my go-to. I think 3x leverage is typically okay. Sometimes you do, like if you're running 3x positions for a long time, you're definitely going to push at that boundary. But if you're just hedging and you're able to remove and add margin as needed, ETH and BTC, 3x, I'm safe with it. It looks like no one is telling me that I'm wrong. So I'll take that as a good sign and like that it's possible. So when you deposit into futures, is it like immediate? Do you immediately get that bonus, or do you have to do something?
I think it is. I'll double check.
Okay.
I'll double check.
Because I may have already I don't think I can use my own referral link, so I just put 500 into my futures. Maybe I've already used it up. But please let us know, because this very niche use case is interesting to me, and I think that I could probably find good strategies to have our community benefit from this, or at least I don't like talking about things that I'm not genuinely interested in and I don't genuinely think are good opportunities. And this particular thing I think is really genuinely useful for people, and it's also a way to get people to try out Blofin and see if they like it. So let's get all those details and get people hedging. Now you guys have a lot of other things, right? You introduced Spot. You I don't know, like Marcus is just like a page where you can look at stuff.
Yeah, we had a lot.
Tell me what I'm missing. Like, what are the things that I should know about or think about or consider that we haven't talked about yet?
I think go to Spot. I mean, I think just in terms of like my previous history, being like a top guy at Mexi, I think like I'm gonna get pretty aggressive trying to beat Mexi to new stuff. It's actually kind of lucky. All that FUD, it makes my job easier. So it's basically about 2 weeks ago, we're working with Crypto Banner pretty exclusively, and so that gummy coin we launched started at 3 mil market cap. It got to 200. The chart, it was not the greatest launch, but
I mean, that's a 5,000% increase in 1 day and 12 hours.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So I'm trying to do more stuff like that. I got some stuff cooking. There will be more kind of exclusive, hot, new initial coins on our spot market. Because at the end of the day, that's why people love Mexi. And it is a service giving customers good projects first. So I think by Q3, I'm going to shift to doing that a lot more. That'll be my focus.
Hey, Solana's up 13% in the past 24 hours. Good for you, Solana. You deserve this.
I think Avalanche needs to go up more.
Oh gosh, are you exposed? I'm so sorry for you. I mean, they skyrocketed from $10? I forget what it was back in the depths of the bear market.
I remember reading on /biz 4 years ago to buy Avalanche at $4.
That hurts.
I will never forget that run. So I still accumulate some. To be honest, I'm a bit of an Avalanche guy. It hurts, but I think it's gonna have less flack than Solana down the line.
Are you? I mean, this is kind of off topic, but are you a DeFi user? Do you go out and play with DeFi protocols, get yield?
I used to do a lot. I was I owned 1% of Gains Farm V2 back in the day. So I started doing that stuff probably 3-4 years ago, and I was a Uniswap Alpha user. So I was always more on the whatever decentralized AMM side than the yield farming side.
Yeah.
I watched Urine come out and I shot myself in the foot. I saw it $400 and I missed it.
Oh,
I've always been salty after that DeFi summer, to be honest. I think it's naive and people get my ego, but I've been pissed off ever since I saw Urine go from $400 to 12,000 in fucking 2 weeks and I missed it.
And you've been salty ever since.
Yeah. Had all these idiots in my trading group back in the day just be like, yeah, I bought this on Uniswap. I was like, what? And then that was the first Uniswap summer back then. That was crazy. I think that's coming though soon, to be honest, guys.
Uniswap summer?
A DeFi summer. I think no one's talking about it. I think it's honestly, there's a lot of new protocols, a lot of new stuff. I just think we'll probably be on Arb and not Solana though. That's the thing.
I'm not even sure that we can comprehend that. So if everyone else here is like me, it's hard to imagine thinking about people not talking about DeFi because it's literally all we talk about all day. So like you're more in tune with the outside market than we are. From my perspective, like it's all anyone is talking about because it's all that I am talking about. And so having an external perspective is actually maybe a little bit refreshing here. It would be cool to see a DeFi summer. Personally, I think there's been a ton of innovation in DeFi. So like the next wave of DeFi users that are coming in for the very first time are going to come into what is an absolutely wildly developed space, like concentrated liquidity, having that automated.
The masses aren't here. They're still trading shitcoins on base.
Yeah, but we're never going to get the masses. Like
no, you will. They will. I think that's the next thing.
Maybe
like the average guy, like the 50-year-old man who's like watching conspiracy videos, is like, no, I need to get into DeFi.
That's true. I mean, there is. It's a really I mean, the DeFi users are a very weird constellation of like demographics. But like one of the things that I think is probably true is that if you look at I don't know, the IQ or even like economic bell curve, we're tapping into a very, very niche demographic here. And the people who end up staying are like even more and more niche. I'm not saying like we're particularly clever, all of you guys are artistic, but there's like, if you want to use Pendle intelligently and you want to do like interest rate swapping or you want to do like hedging, you have to like actively be doing math or at least be able to understand pretty complex mathematics. And we're artistic. That's right. My mom always told me I was artistic. There's meme coin trading. I totally get that. But even being able to like set up a hardware wallet and understand like how important it is to hold a seed phrase and put that in somewhere safe. All of these things are like intellectual, psychological, and like responsibility lifts that I don't think is really that accessible to what I typically call like the fat and mountainous belly of the bell curve. Like, sure, there are a lot of people that come out. I mean, when I first joined, I was probably a bit of an idiot, admittedly, and a lot of us probably were. But mainstream adoption, I don't know if we're looking for that. I don't know if like is that the thing that we're actually gunning for, or are we just like a gamified haven for a niche group of humans that like it's totally not based off of where you live or like.
I think we'll hit a point though where like in the next before Q4 or during Q4, they might cut the rates, and I think in itself will
then
give people,
you can't lose.
That will give people the, oh wow, I can get this much here. And I think also institutionally, it's all these guys are already crawling around. They're just not yelling it from the ceilings yet that they're doing it. So I'm sure BlackRock with Ondo and all these things is like seeing the upside of being able to get yield on chain. And I think at some point you'll have more and more like TradFi just entering the space alongside with like more and more TradFi investors, because like their dividends and their bonds are just going to shit. So like, why wouldn't they just find the yield here like you guys do all the time, right? It's just, I think it's going to take a bit of onboarding of the masses, but like that's what the meme coins are for.
I think that's true. There's also like this just like size issue where right now DeFi highly favors I would say 4 to 7-figure portfolios. And that's also a very niche demographic, because like if you're 8-figure or 9-figure or 10-figure, a lot of times you just can't participate in some of the most interesting opportunities, and some things in TradFi might be better suited for you. And if you're below 4 figures, oftentimes there's like a barrier of entry to just like the opportunity cost, and like, can you put in enough time to make it worth it for yourself? Often like the answer is probably yes if you're like aggressively airdrop farming, or if you're like really good at meme coining. But like the average DeFi user who's playing with the mechanics and strategy, really 4 to 7-figure portfolios I think are like the key prime demographic for that. And so like as more liquidity comes into DeFi as a whole, maybe interest rate cuts, everything gets pumped, people are throwing money at more risk on things because it's just like flushing all the systems. And the the velocity, there we go, not the viscosity of money, the velocity of money is just increasing rapidly. We're all going to be having a good time, and then institutions can sort of like maybe 8-9 figure But like getting to those 10, 11 figure investments, which like institutions are kind of known for, I think we're a ways off from DeFi.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean, I think you need to first have, again, I hate saying this, but just like the masses, right? So for me, I mean, it's a bit off topic, but at the end of the day, like the world is not onboarded yet to the Web3 space. Like we, including myself, like live in a pretty insulated, like quite, ahead of the curve circles, right? So most people here are like 100 times more understanding of blockchain technology than the average person right now. And eventually, though, like with the way it's going, like the amount of addresses on Bitcoin, for instance, like they haven't really cracked like 10, 50 million, 100 million. It's not there yet. Um, Ethereum addresses, they're not there yet. The actual amount of people with wallets and addresses is still quite low. Maybe the centralized exchanges do play a big role in like making less, public addresses available because a lot of people just use the SEX or they use Binance or they use OKX. But in reality, like yeah, much of the world still hasn't been onboarded, and that will create the liquidity for the bigger institutions to come into the space.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like, I don't want to get bearish. I know we're off topic too, but I was looking at this, man. We never had like a five weeks of red candles in a previous bull market, and I mean, we're just in such a unique marketplace right now. It's really, no two bulls the same.
Going on though. Yeah, there's too much going on in the background, right? Like you have them doing a treasury buyback. Like, whoa, right? That's different than the last couple of years.
Okay, but we have had three red months. So like if you look at weekly, I guess that's unique. But if you look at monthly, it's not very unique.
No, and it's funny too because there's no Sam Bankman-Fried or CZ anymore. I think that's what you don't have Alameda doing like whole fucking exchange arbitraging like every other person on the market, right? So I think the market's been more organic.
That's true. There's like, I mean, we do have Eigen being this like gigantic thing that no one really knows how it's going to turn out. But in terms of like massive points of failure, maybe Athena, maybe Athena could be a massive point of failure, but I don't think there's that much money in Athena. There is a lot of money in it, but it's not like UST size. And I think that people are hopefully more risk off with Athena than they were with UST and not putting their whole portfolio in it, as opposed to like every institution and their mother throwing themselves at, UST towards the end there. Yeah. Hopefully there are either like fewer large points of failure or way more small points of failure, so that when that failure does happen, it's just not going to be as catastrophic. But you're right. Like there is no exchange, maybe aside from Coinbase, that has taken up so much of the mind share and so much of like the volume of crypto users. I wouldn't even say DeFi users. That gives me a little bit of hope here. So also this chart does, because 3 red months, man, that must have been a hard time. We're not even in 2 full red months. Yeah.
that was Alameda and CZ doing a battle. I have no idea what's going on there, but like if you guys haven't noticed, like the market, if you go back to like maybe like the 2015, 2017 cycle, like it looks more like ours. That last thing that we had was totally fucked up by FTX for sure. Yeah. Like that looks like a way more organic price action, right? And you go look at that double top, like that is the most inorganic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, this one? Yeah, here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's right before FTX took the loan from Genesis, is that second one. So it's just like, yeah, it's, I think it's, and then BlackRock gets to buy as much fucking Bitcoin as they want down at the bottom. So, I think it's a bit of an inside job, to be honest, but that's too much for me to talk about right now.
Yeah, I understand. You're jet lagged. Man, I'm not going to take any more of your time, but I really appreciate you coming on here. Is there anything else you want to end with before we hop off?
Yeah, if you guys have any problems, just hit me up. We take customer support and anything that goes wrong super seriously. I think it's more serious than anywhere else I've ever been in as a worker here. So message Steven. If something fucks up, please message me. We'll make it right. That's part of our promise of being a new exchange.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. And everyone else, thank you for tuning in, for watching. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send them to Bonk, aka Harry. And have a wonderful rest of your day.